I'm gonna look and see if this is. See, this doesn't seem like it is. Huh, okay, maybe it is working. Howdy, Phil. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to make this work so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. Ba-da-da-da-da. So please bear with me. This is a process. I'm still trying to work it out. It's my first time. This is why it's not a big announced thing. It's not scheduled. But it does seem to be working, and we'll see. Let me see something really, really quickly. No, this isn't very fun yet, so. Shut up, Poe. Okay, let's see. I know you're all watching me try to set things up on different streaming services, which is super exciting. And you're just looking at that. That's so weird. Okay, so you're not seeing my screen. Ah! Ha ha ha, my screen. There we are. So there's the screen. Now I can open to Facebook down here so I can actually see the thingy. Okay, let me open up that and see how that works. This is very tricky for me, so I'm still working out the bugs. But hopefully this will have some effect. Ha ha ha. Okay, never use these things. Ever, not once. So. Oh, okay, they go away that way. Nice, sweet. Okay. Move that down there so I can get this up and working. Hi, Phil. Hopefully you can hear me. Gonna keep the window open over here in the corner so I can hopefully see comments as they pop up. Oh, excellent, excellent. Okay, cool. So then we are in fact having a conversation of a sort. Let me open up my window and see if you can actually see me drawing. And not just look at my desktop of Optimus Prime, the old box art. Haha. Okay. I think this might be working. I can see my drawing surface. Optimus wants to see line art. Optimus will see line art. Okay. Now, of course, what I'm seeing on the screen is a good, looks like I'm a good 15 seconds delayed from what's actually happening on the screen. So fun part is if I have a stroke here in the middle of the video, you'll find out about it about 20 seconds later. I'm getting set up with my rough pencil, which I'm going to set to blue. I did not know that. Well, what's the meme? Don't be an optimist. Be an optimist prime, not a Negatron or something like that. Okay. Nothing seems to be updating on my screen. Wow, there we go. Okay, you can see it. I wasn't seeing the updates as much. I'm seeing the comments pop up, which is good. Okay, so now, oh crap, I don't even know what I'm going to draw. It's got to be something quick and simple because this is just a test video. I don't know if you need to go crazy here. Any suggestions? Got a couple people watching. Hmm. If you're wondering what I'm looking at, I have toys on the top of and side of my desk, so I'm literally looking for ideas and inspiration for something to draw. That's something quick, you know. D costume variant. Okay. For a suggestion, I am going to go with Sabrina's suggestion. So this will be Super D, which, yeah, I'm going to. Oh, I have it on my phone. I have reference. I have reference. I haven't drawn it enough to have it perfectly in my head yet. Okay, let's get going. Make sure I'm on the right layer. I was not. Ha ha ha. So if there's any questions, feel free to ask, and I will and do a kind of a standard superhero flying towards the camera pose, just because I'm not feeling particularly original right now. I like Ultra D. This particular version of me has no name, so Ultra D might be it. Pretending I have muscles. Potato! Potato! Pretending I have a lot of things when I draw Ultra D here. I'm gonna have to get saying that. Ultra D! Like hips. The The battle cry of honesty and carbs. Delicious, delicious carbs. Yeah, I have that little visor mask that I draw on Ultra D that I never actually, I didn't put on the cover because I was specifically doing the John Byrne She-Hulk #1, Sensational She-Hulk #1 technically. And I really wanted it to read, so I decided to eschew the mask, little visor thing that I draw. But for this, for most pieces of art that I do of Ultra D, I do the visor. So also a turf, most likely. Even though I don't actually acknowledge in the strip that I am diabetic, I don't think it's ever come up, and that's partly because those strips would be so goddamn depressing, and then I'd be fielding all the different diet advice from people every time I'd post a new strip. It'd be like, well, try this quinoa wrap, or try this. I'm inundated with all the different concoctions that can be made from cauliflower that I've tried, and I don't like any of them. Potatoes! Actually began with a series of jokes between myself and a friend back from Tampa, Sean Scott, about calling each other potatoes, in reference to Strax from Doctor Who, and it's turned into something Sabrina and I talk about all the time, about my potato body, and it just kind of evolved. Delicious sneaker. So filled with agletly goodness. Aglety. Is that a word? Aglets. Their true meaning is sinister. The boots are never consistent on Ultra D. It's because the reference pictures I have don't actually have the boots on them, so I kind of remake them up every single time. The cape is meant to have a point on the end, and I don't think I've shown that very well either. Yes, aglets, their purpose is sinister. One of the greatest frickin' lines. I'm gonna give myself like an energy aura in this one because I feel like it. In the first drawing that I did of Ultra D for the calendar that never that calendar did happen. I had an energy aura going, and I've never drawn that in any of the other versions. It's like I always feel like it's like a Green Lantern kind of vibe. Okay, so some quick blue lines of Ultra D. Ha ha ha. Now to start the inks. Go to my ink layer, line art layer. Bring down my color to black. Go to my, let's see, pens. I am going to use where is it? Tapered pen. That's the one that I use for everything. Make sure I'm working right. Yes, it is. Ha ha ha. 1 second. Yeah, I put on the 5-second face, knowing that I was going to be on camera. Still have bedhead pulled into a ponytail, but lipstick, classy. Oh, every time I step away from the screen it's funny to talk. This is the funniest thing. I should be talking to the camera, right? But every time that I talk to you, I actually talk looking down to the corner of my screen that has the text on it. It's meaningless. Okay. Have as good a time as possible since it is work, Phil. Every Jeffrey Combs what do I call this? Question moment on Justice League is gold. Like every frame of the question is just amazing to me. Now, there's definitely a difference. I use different inking tools for this and for say for Finding D, I use the Tapebird pen, and I actually use this brush called Lando Calbrushian here, and which I had to double check, but yeah, it's a artist named Ed Smith pointed me towards it, and I used Lando Calbrushian for Giant Girl Adventures because it's closer to the brush that I worked on in Photoshop, and I like the pages to look consistent. This one I absolutely adore the thin thick. And you can actually see if I go in really close, it's got like a choppy texture that very much replicates, if I was working on paper, it would have a little bit of tooth to it generally. So I like that is an option. Let's see, going in. But I love those big, juicy, thin, thick lines that I can get. It's the closest I can get to actually inking with a real brush, which I can do, but it's just not my most natural tool, and it's just slow. It's slow, and it's very hard to correct. Pardon me. In the future, I'll actually schedule these, and hopefully they'll work that way. Nope. Nope. Try tilting the screen a little bit. Getting the under boob curve is always tricky. I know I can't do it in one swoosh, so I try to do it in like two broken swooshes. I am a crazy person. You know better than most. Bring it back because I always draw in from the foreground to the background for me, obvious reasons, because the things in the background have to butt up against the foreground elements. Early on, I had considered doing whenever I would do like Ultra D stuff, that I would do it in like a straightforward superhero comic style, and I don't know, it lost all the charm and the energy. So I do it in a heightened version compared to say what I do for regular Finding D. It's got a little bit more rendering. It's got a little bit more shadows. I do pump the proportions up a little bit to make myself have a little bit more of the heroic physique. Not much. I'm still a potato, but it's still functionally the same cartoon D. Some of these lines are a little too thick, but I am going to go back in when this is all done and hit everything with some thicker contour lines around some of the figure work. So like the fist will have a thicker contour line, stuff like that that really makes it pop. Ear in here, because that's where it would go. I'm gonna take a quick jump out of here to see if some of my other stuff is actually working. Hmm, that's the Patreon, but it's not live streaming that I can see. So that's going to be something I'm going to have to tweak and work on so that these can be streamed to the Patreon patrons as well. Use the incline a little bit for the costume details so that they have a slightly better line here, a little bit less line variation. In the original version, the little chest symbol was actually just a circle, and the symbol, the trans symbol, was a projected energy effect popping off of it, but that didn't really have the same impact right away. And plus, a lot of the time in the strip, it's just still a black and white strip, and I'm not going to be putting in special effects mm, every time I draw this version of myself, which is a fun little variation that I like to do. So I didn't want to make it a pain in the butt. I don't know. It is really tricky to suss out while I'm actually doing it on my Patreon. It should be going to YouTube. Let's see. Yeah, it says it's going out live to YouTube, and I put the URL in my live stream test, but it does not seem to be syncing, which is a bit frustrating. Yeah, it's not streaming out. It's streaming out on. Wait. Haha, that might have been a mistake. Delete, I'm gonna try. I know this is not exactly fun to watch me do, but let's try. Ha! That was the mistake I was making. Okay, now it is in fact going live out to Patreon. So for the Patreon versions that I'll be doing for Giant Girl Adventures, because we'll schedule those, I'll be able to see the comments popping up. Yes! Okay, I'm getting this figured out, Sabrina! Ha ha ha! Okay, we're back. Bit of meaningless trivia, but the Ultra D costume, specifically the mask, is actually based on a character that I created as a little kid. Probably the first character I ever created, might even predate Dandy. It was a superhero called Lightning Man. And this was based on a redesign of the costume that I did in like 1991 or 92, something like that. Um, I was still in high school, and I always liked the redesigned costume. And even though I have no intention of using that old character for anything, I recycled the best elements of that costume and revised it for the Ultra D suit, which is something that I kind of wanted to do. Where I was like, okay, well, when I was going to design this, even though the say what, a Lightning Man or What do you mean, Sabrina? So when I was anyway, when I was designing the Ultra D suit, even though it does have the transgender symbol in the center, I want and the color scheme, what I wanted was a costume design that would still look, generally speaking, kind of like a cool superhero suit, outside of the context of the gag. So like if it was made seriously, it would still kind of look awesome. And that was the hope anyway. And that was one of the reasons why I based it on that existing design because I thought it'd be cool that way. And, you know, removed from any other context, it would still be kind of a cool superhero costume. Mm, hmm. I don't know if I like my little pout here. Yeah, I like the smirk better. Okay, definitely gonna have to curve down here for the potato belly. Ah, derp. Yes, Ultra D should always be happy. She has superpowers. And a good design it was. I start checking those on my phone so I'm not constantly interrupting the stream. I didn't want type. Perfect. There we go. Pushing the button, the little R key to get the screen to rotate is always a tricky thing for me because I'm always pushing the wrong button. Or I'm pushing R, but I'm starting to turn before I push R. Or there's always something that ends up kind of creating a weird dynamic that doesn't quite work. Now that I'm thinking about it, what you're talking about with Sabrina, with your character, I'm wondering whether or not I could create Ultra D in City of Heroes. I know not exactly, but like, I wonder how close I could get. stop talking for a minute. Oop, sorry about that. I'm not the best narrator sometimes. A little out of practice. I haven't done a live video in quite a while. Back during the oh my god, I think it was the summer was the last live inking or live drawing video that I did. Oy. I was having all kinds of problems with my phone getting it to stay connected, and it just knocked me out of wanting to do them. But I was doing a ton of them for a little while. That DuckTales theme song in my head for some reason, and I haven't even watched a new episode in months. Who's been messing up everything? I actually started singing Agatha all along specifically to the tune of the Munsters. So, who's been messing up everything? It's been Agatha all along. Doo 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 doo. Who's been pulling every evil string? It's been Agatha all along. It actually really works if you just sing it to the Munsters theme song tune. So yeah, the Ultra D a little more standard D does, unless it's a cover, of a little bit more rendering wiggle room. Anyone who knows my work knows I'm generally a whore for rendering. I do like rendering and little nibby details and all that fun jazz. Anything that adds a little bit of extra texture and form to the art makes me happy. I'm as happy as I'm capable of being at times. Darker here by the end of the crud. What sections of this are dark? No, some of this is black. I forgot. I'll look it up on my phone. So you get the excitement of watching me look down at something off camera. The magic of the internet. Oh, okay, it's the armpits. I thought so. Not quite burn hair for this version. I'm keeping it a little simpler. The burn hair only showed up on the one cover. God, I love how easy it is to feather. The rendering here, not the hair. Well, it's your suggestion. Maybe I should burn hair it a little bit for this. Anyone else watching that has a vote as to whether or not I should burn hair it? She does have superhero fantasy hair. Yeah, the hair gets stylized, the potato body remains. Which is oddly realistic in a weird way, because you know, I could make my hair look very nice if I put the work into it, or in this reality's case, just asked Heidi for help. But the potato body would still remain even in the real world, no matter what. Chunky. Yeah, I gotta say the feathering that I can get with this is really juicy. I am loving the brushes in Clip Studio for feathering. I feel like such an idiot. I didn't start a record of this, so there's not going to be a the video that we're doing right here will go and stay on my site, but there's no time lapse. I should have been doing a time lapse, and it's so easy. It's just file, time lapse, record time lapse. I didn't do it. Ugh. I'm not going to start over, but still frustrating because I really like those time lapses, and that would have been a cool thing to have. But I was really caught up trying to get everything else working, so, you know, gonna beat myself up over it. It's really not that. I can do start the. I guess I could start the time lapse at least for the benefit of the fact that I'm going to redo the hair. I am going to. I'll give the burn hair. Bing. There's not too much left to do, but I kind of path out the hair, get rid of it. Burn hair would not have fit within those shapes. Okay, let's try some burn hair. Never easy. I need a thicker brush for anything even resembling some burn hair. Still want to follow the shape of what I was doing, if not the specifics. Okay, I haven't tried doing burn hair in many, many months since I did the cover to issue 7, actually. Awesome. Something real quick. Whenever I do myself with the burn hair, I'm always doing myself with the burn hair that's a little bit darker than normal, even though I don't have dark hair. Yeah. Yeah, because burn hair when it's light just doesn't look, looking at like the blonde phantom stuff, it's not as exciting. Oh, there we go. Delete a few of those. Yes, my intense concentration face. This is exactly what it looks like whenever we're talking on the phone for a while and you're wondering if I'm okay because I'm not talking for a bit when I'm inking. It's this. And then occasionally you'll say something and I'll go, and forget you cannot see me normally. Although I think I can actually do this and just send this video to you directly. So there are possibilities that I can actually do. I think I can actually do stuff like this and just stream you my screen directly, and we can do like our chats, and you can actually just watch me draw. A bit more shadow in here, I think. Darken it in here a little bit. A little bit more burny hair. Not perfectly burn, but a little bit more burn. Cheat a little, throw some out this corner too, because nothing says burn hair like making it huge. Maybe a higher crown on the hair. Yeah, you're right. That would burn it up a little bit. Let me see if I can actually recover a little bit here. That's not my best hair. I'll work on that. Do some of the little thicker outlines here. Yeah, this is just a warm-up drawing anyway to get into working on the pages and stuff. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. It's just for fun. I always like to go back over at the end and hit the exterior with a little bit more of a thicker contour line. Probably better and smarter ways to do this, but this is how I do it. It is my preference, and I like the way it looks. Thicker on the bottom of the chin. Taper lines here on the inside of the cape. So there's something going on. Yeah, I'll look into seeing what I can do to share the videos directly with you while we're working on page stuff so that I'm not always, don't always have to do the screen grabs. Although the screen grabs are helpful for Patreon purposes. I don't like that. Under shadow here. Wow, my screen hasn't updated in a while. Is the video still working? I mean, it might be because I'm actually the one doing it or something, but preview I see on my screen is still the underbelly line. Technology. No comments makes me think something is definitely not working. Matter, I just lost Sabrina. Oh no, okay, it is still working. My preview just wasn't updating. Myself a new layer here. For my energy effect. Let's see, since it's me, it's going to be a purple energy effect. because I want that to be. Uh, a little thicker on the line here. A little Green Lantern style aura. No overlap, no overlap. Yep, and if I had anyone still watching, I would have totally lost you with the 5 minutes of complete and total silence. Well, hopefully, I can get these things going in the future and actually schedule them. Some folks will it'll be easier to maintain conversations and all that jazz. Shut your face hole, Poe. It's not the mama. I know that much. Ergo, I don't care. Big brush now. Oh, I need a cleaner brush for this. So back to Lando Calrissian. Herbie Crackle in here. I'll have to go see if there's a good Kirby Crackle brush so that it does it automatically because I am not above cheating. I'm sure there is a Kirby Crackle brush. There's got to be a Kirby Crackle brush, just one that hopefully doesn't suck. But for now, this will do. Okay, so it's a little quick video. Well, not that quick. Doing a, let's save this out. So a little test sketch. The Pardon me, export the time lapse. 30 seconds, that totally works. And so again, yeah, in the future, it's I'm hoping that I will be able to. I'll set up schedules for this now that I kind of have it working, and we shall see how this works in the future. Oh, what's this? Yes, and hopefully you'll see how this works in the future and get this stuff kind of going a little bit better, a little bit smoother. And again, well, hopefully this will work better. Oh wow, this was an hour long. I'll start doing some strips and stuff like that. And we'll see how this goes. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll try to make these a little bit better going forward. But this is just kind of a test to test the technology and see if it works. Okay, I will talk to you later. Have a great day, and bye bye.